Okay, we're going to do part two so I can sum up this whole thing. We're talking about a guy named Malik Omar who addressed me in the comment section of a video that I did about Anthony Joshua responding to Deontay Wilder. So let me read his comments, okay, being that this is a separate video. Malik Omar says, I am really disappointed in your analysis in this video, family. I am pro-American, and I am riding with Wilder until the wheels fall off. One thing I respect from the UK fans is that they ride with their countrymen, even if they disagree with their actions. It's disgusting to see how Americans don't support one another in boxing. AJ is the best heavyweight in the UK, but Eddie Hearn, for some reason, ducked the fight, the Wilder fight. However, AJ wants to fight Wilder, I truly believe, but his promoter has caused him and Wilder to miss out on $100 to $200 million for that fight. I wish you make some videos on how Wilder speaks out on systematic racism and also how he has financially helped people. Make a video that's positive about Wilder. Don't just be one-sided. Peace. Now, let me pick up where I left off on this video from there. First off, you should be disappointed in yourself, okay? Which I stated in the last video. Because what you're suggesting to me is that I should be I should be the opposite of what you just said ending this video. Don't just be one-sided. Peace. But you also sat here and said how you respect the fact that the UK fans will ride with their countrymen even if they disagree with their actions. So how the fuck can you be what you despise? So you respect that about the UK people? If they're biased towards someone because they're all from the UK, you respect that about them? But then you're going to tell me not to be one-sided and just say, you know, the bad things about Deontay. First of all, you know I don't do what nobody tell me to do, okay? And that's not going to ever happen. Secondly, okay, I'm talking about boxing. I'm talking about what comes out of his mouth, whether it's him, AJ, whoever. I'm not focused on any of this other shit. You seem to be into all this other stuff because you're a fan. I'm not a fan. Okay, I'm not a fan of anyone. There's certain fighters I like, you know, more than others as fighters. I don't know these people personally. Now, again, you narrow it down to Deontay Wilder. Okay, now, as I said before, I'm the same guy that sat here and defended the logic of people sitting there talking about Floyd this, Floyd that. Floyd does a lot of shit for the community. He does a lot of shit. Now, he may say some controversial shit that people don't agree with because Floyd has said a lot of shit I don't agree with. But the point that I was getting at is, yeah, a lot of people don't like Floyd because he's a young black man that took control of his own career, that decided I'm not going to have somebody telling me how much money I have. I'm going to know how much money I have. I'm not going to have somebody controlling my career, making a puppet out of me. I'm going to take control of that. And a lot of people hate it because here this young black man is doing what he has to do. And like I said, he's bad for boxing. Oh, this guy, he talks too much. He's a show off and he's this and that. Right. But when Conor McGregor does dumb shit, throwing fucking chairs through fucking bus windows, knocking out old men, you guys, oh, it's just Conor just being Conor. So don't come talking to me about black and white or racism, because when I open my mouth to speak about it, I guess you don't hear that shit because I guess you don't give a fuck about Floyd or whatever. I don't know Floyd personally. I'm not friends with Floyd. You know, it's not so much a Floyd thing. It's the principles that I'm defending. You know, yeah. So bottom line, people hate Floyd because he's rich and black and does what he wants to do. Yes, and you think they don't show racism towards that, but what the fuck does that have to do with Deontay Wilder? You don't hear me talking about any fighter just, oh, he does this for the community and he does, this is not what I'm sitting here talking about. If that type of conversation came up, it would be because of a particular situation that surfacing that I feel it will be necessary to talk about. Not because you guys are fanboys and because you want somebody to sit here and just be biased. You clearly sat here and said you respect You respect the people from the UK for riding with their own. What you don't know, which is none of your business and nobody else's, is my family is mixed. You probably are too. More than anything, I'm pretty sure you are. You just don't know. You probably don't care what you mix with because you don't know where your ancestors come from. And maybe you do. Who knows? I don't care. That's your business. But as far as I'm concerned, okay, my family raised me to not be biased and be racist. So for one, don't disrespect my family and how I was raised because you choose to be racist, because you choose to be one-sided. You sitting there talking about don't just be one-sided. And first off, let me explain something to you, okay? When Deontay Wilder speaks about black people, no, he's used the term our black people. But what is he actually referencing? He's referencing something with him. He only talked this shit before a fight. Why? He's trying to get the black people behind him. That's his choice. When have you ever heard Deontay Wilder open his mouth to speak to defend another black fighter? When? Well, I'm talking go in about racism and how these people they made, the only time I heard him say something was when Jarrell Miller, after he talked all that shit about AJ being on steroids and all that, and then he got popped dirty. Then I remember him making a comment about that because he got canned, but Povetkin didn't. That was his point in that sense, right? But he's doing it to bring it back to him. When you campaign, look, when Muhammad Ali was speaking about racism, all right, let me school you real quick. When Muhammad Ali was speaking about racism, do you know what Muhammad Ali was doing? Muhammad Ali was banned from boxing for 3.5 years because he wouldn't go fight in the war. And you want to know what? Not just black people, a whole lot of other people hated Muhammad Ali. Call him a draft dodging nigga. They did all this hate, showed all this hate towards Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, not being a Christian on top of that, a Muslim. Oh, he's bad for boxing. He's bad for people in general as human beings in America. This guy, what is he doing? He doesn't care about his own country and all this shit. So basically, they overlooked the racism that they were throwing at him. You talking about systematic racism in boxing, bro. We talking about in life, period. You narrow something down to some petty shit. Because Wilder's sitting there making all this shit up, talking about the racism that's going on against him. Why? Because he got his ass kicked? Muhammad Ali went all around the country speaking and standing up, not just for his rights, but for just the rights of people in general. And as Ali started to get older, he also started to understand too. There's a lot of people who are not black that started to embrace him and realize, damn, he's being done wrong. This shit is wrong. Hate is hate, man. Martin Luther King stood up and was speaking about he has a dream and bringing people together. Okay, and I'm going to say something a lot of people don't want to say. He was cheating on his wife. So yeah, J. Edgar Hoover, what he did, yeah, he targeted Martin Luther King. He targeted him. He targeted JFK. Yeah, he targeted him. I'm pretty sure there's other people he knew who was doing what they was doing behind their wives' back, and he just left it alone. Yeah, maybe he hated Martin Luther King and all that stuff, right? But was Martin Luther King guilty of sleeping with other women and white women on top of that? Yes. You know, the tape was sent to his house and his wife heard it and didn't understand what the hell was going on. And yeah. Now, is that something that people need to bring up to try to belittle Martin Luther King? No. You know, when people bring stuff up like that is when people try to tell you you should bow down to somebody and salute and treat them like they're a god. They're a deity to you. They're a man. They're human just like you. And the point is, the same people who cover that up, if their husbands went out and cheated on them, those same women wouldn't forgive their husbands. The same men that try to sit here and protect that, what I'm saying, if it was their wives that he did that with, do you think they feel the same way? What's my man in football that knelt down, wouldn't salute the flag? Do you know how many black people knock him for that? All that money he making? Shit, man. No. I spoke up for what he was doing. And you want to know the majority of people who was coming on the channel, talking shit, speaking, fuck the channel. It's just life. But do you know how many people was, oh yeah, man, nah, he's stupid, fuck that, man, because, yo, man, racism don't even exist anymore. Oh, really? And y'all knocking that man for taking a stand? These are people who took a stand for something because there was an actual cause, not for their own selfish benefit. When Deontay Wilder is walking around here talking about black systematic racism, and what is he talking about and why? Why is he bringing any of this stuff up? For what reason? This is the same guy. I remember Deontay Wilder being interviewed, and he sat there. The lady, white lady, sat there and asked him, "How does he feel about Tyson Fury?" Oh, I like Fury. Fury's a good guy. You know, he's a character. He's a character. You know, I like Fury. What did Tyson Fury? What did Deontay Wilder say about Tyson Fury after he got his ass whooped and he finally started talking? We knew about Tyson Fury all along. Well, if you knew he was a cheat all along, then you a fucking liar, because you said you would never fight a drug cheat. But you fought Luis Ortiz twice. He failed the drug test twice, and you still fought him. So even when you bring up Povetkin, and you sit here and say it was because of his skin color that he got off, if you know the story, then you know that it's not that's not even the fucking case. See, here's the problem with you Wilder fans. I can say something about Tyson Fury, calling his bullshit. You don't see it. I could sit here and call out, like somebody made a comment talking about when Larry Holmes fought Jerry Cooney, he got lucky because he think Jerry Cooney hurt his hand. No, I said, man, listen, I don't care what happened. Jerry Cooney got his ass whooped. And you sitting here talking about how AJ got beat by Andy Ruiz, but you want to hit him and make excuses for Jerry Cooney, right? That person responded and said, oh, you just said it because Jerry Cooney's white. And I said, well, you can think what you want, punk, but I tell you what, fuck you and Jerry Cooney. How about that? And that was the end of that conversation. So he's a guy who thinks because Jerry Cooney's white, I'm saying what I'm saying about Jerry Cooney. Do I care what he thinks? No. But he did to me the same shit you're doing. In the sense of, you're sitting here and saying I should basically be biased towards him because he's black and I'm black. And then you're going to sit here and say that you respect the UK fans because they ride with a UK fighter regardless, even if they don't like their actions. You said you respect that. Why would you respect that? Why? Why? You don't even understand my position and where I'm coming from. You are a fan. Like I said, I'm not. So I can say what I want to say, and it doesn't bother me at all. Let me ask you this question. If you like a basketball team, right, do you get mad if the guy who hit the winning shot is not a black American? Do you get mad because the MVP of the game on the team that you like is not a black American? Do you sit here and start conspiracy theories? Oh man, they only gave him MVP because he's white or he's European or whatever the hell. Do you do that, or are you just happy because the team that you like won? So basically, me coming from a mixed family, imagine somebody attacking verbally or physically somebody in my family because they speak different and look different. Then what? What am I supposed to tell them that, oh well, nah. Well, first off, you know what's going to happen when I get my hands on that person, so we already know that. But what am I supposed to tell them? Oh, well, you know, you got to understand, man, you don't sound like Americans. You talk different, so you're not the same. So, you know, what I want somebody to be biased towards somebody against my loved ones? No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to be biased towards anybody. Now, as far as me showing love, and of course, like, you know, you sitting here saying that they ride with them regardless. Does that make it right? Does it make it right? You can't speak against something, but then do the same shit and then say, well, because they're doing it, I'm doing it. So if you think your wife cheating on you, you going to go out and cheat too? And then come to find out you was dead wrong? So basically, I mean, like, you know how petty this conversation is to me right now? And I'm using these analogies because your conversation just sound real elementary, man. Then you turn around and let me say, you got Haitian people, Jamaican people, people from the UK, you got British people, all in your family, got American in your family. For somebody to sit here and say what they're saying, to me, it just sounds really stupid. Because first off, you're talking about choosing sides. I'm giving you boxing news. I like Jermall Charlo as a fighter. Whoever Jermall Charlo fight, I want to see him win. I call Jermall Charlo out on his bullshit, so I guess I'm a Jermall Charlo hater for being honest. So you talking to the wrong person about this shit. That stuff you talking about, then you need to go watch Dante's Boxing Nation, Boxing Ego, like I said before. You need to go watch those guys, Blue Blood and all them, because what you talking about don't apply to me. Okay? Then you said something that's completely false, man. You said Eddie Hearn, for some reason, ducked the Wilder fight. And you said he caused Wilder and AJ $200 million. Do you not remember? Do you not remember Deontay Wilder standing right there next to his promoter, admitting the reason they turned that $120 million down was because they did not tell them how much Anthony Joshua was making. And they know that fight is worth way more than what, they're talking about. First off, that had nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. This was a DAZN deal. So what are you even talking about? And let's be real, okay? The $20 million was for him to fight Dominic Breazeale. The $100 million was $50 million for 2 fights. Okay, for per fight for 2 fights against Anthony Joshua. So that's where the 120 come from. So how in the hell did Eddie Hearn cause them money? When Deontay Wilder and his team decided to turn that down. Y'all compare that to the $50 million that was, oh, well, you get $50 million. You said you would fight for $50 million. We got $50 million, right? No negotiations, no meeting, take it or leave it. Do you understand what they could do with that $50 million? The negotiate with the stipulations. Do you understand what kind of stipulations that they could put on that? And even like in New York, a verbal agreement can work against you. And all you need is a witness. A verbal agreement. Who does business like that? Tell me when do you hear a desperate fighter who makes no money would probably go for that because, hey, shit, I'm broke, man. I need money. AJ already makes like $30 million to fight, right? So for him, with the $50 million, his comment was, I fight Deontay Wilder tomorrow for $50 million. Hey, okay, you got my attention. You talk about $50 million? Let's talk about this. No meeting, no talking, take it or leave it. And that's the way you negotiate. If that shit was done to Deontay Wilder, if it was shown on their foot, y'all be saying the same thing I'm saying. So we talking about right and wrong. You talking about bias because of nationality. So you basically are biased yourself, racist yourself, and then you sitting up here trying to tell another person what they should and shouldn't do because of your preference? Nah, it doesn't work like that. Do you forget Deontay Wilder sat here and sent a tweet to Tyson Fury admitting, I could have fought Anthony Joshua for more money, but I chose to fight you. And how your little fanboy channels out there try to flip it is, no, what he's saying is, he honored and kept his word when he could have fought AJ, but he fought him instead, which clearly means he ducked fighting AJ because he could have fought him. And this is Deontay Wilder's own words. So what are you talking about, little man? You are completely making up stuff and giving false information. He walked away. Eddie Hearn did not cause Deontay Wilder. Or first off, do you think if Eddie Hearn cost AJ any money, AJ's going to be sitting there cool about that? You think that Eddie Hearn cost him $100 to $200 million and he's going to be sitting there cool about that? No. See, you got to get your facts straight, first of all. You're not even talking off knowledge. You're talking off what you think you know. Okay, and everything I'm saying, you can pull up and prove it. It's facts. You're sitting here talking about he caused them money by ducking the fight. Your boy Anthony Deontay Wilder sat there and clearly said, okay, He could have fought AJ for more money, but he chose to fight Fury. So if that doesn't sound good to you, that's fine. But your disagreement is not with me, it's with Wilder, because that came out of his mouth. And again, him and his promoter stood right there and admitted the reason why they didn't take the fight with Anthony Joshua is because DAZN would not tell them how much money they were paying Anthony Joshua. What the hell do you care what he's making? When Deontay at that point was making, I think the most he might have made at that point was 2.5 or 3.5 million or something like that. And you going to turn out $100 million? No, see, you're the one that's wrong with your information. Okay. At the end of the day, man, I don't sit here talking about what any fighter is doing outside of boxing. That's none of my concern. So for you to sit here and even say, why don't you talk about the contributions that he do and how he help people financially? Well, I could do that about myself. And I don't even talk about the contributions and things that I do. So what in the fuck am I sitting up here focusing on what somebody's doing in their personal life? That's personal. That has nothing to do with boxing. That's his personal life. And if he's doing whatever he's doing, good for him. Okay? Like I said, when I defended the logic of people trying to say Floyd is this and that and all, right, but Floyd does a lot for the community. You know, and he and because he doesn't feel like talking about it, okay, why should I sit here and focus on talking about it? But regardless, even if he did, that's his choice. But my point, even when I said that, you know what? It was a lot of black people who were sitting up there going against me saying that. And I'm not a fan. I'm just saying, plain and simple, no, you don't even know what y'all talking about. Y'all just say things. You narrow it down to Deontay Wilder. So since you talk about what Wilder do, are you aware of other black fighters that do a lot of things for their community? Because you're not talking about black fighters in general. You're talking about Deontay Wilder, just like he talks about himself. And the only reason why he brought up the Povetkin situation is because Povetkin was a possible opponent, and then basically he lost a case against Povetkin. And that's the only reason he spoke about that. And when he did that, to this day, little poem, whatever, rap speech, whatever you want to call it, for George Floyd, he was promoting his clothing line and had that to this day and used that situation as a way to promote that shit. Okay, cool, whatever. You ever hear me tell people, yo, don't buy Deontay Wilder's merchandise, don't support? No, you don't hear me talking about what people are doing personally. When you use something for an example to try to benefit yourself, and it's clear to see, just because you're blind to it, why should somebody keep their mouth closed because you think they should? You don't hear me talk about any fighter. Oh, he does this for the community, and he made this contribution, and he wrote a check for so. I don't know why in the hell, why would I have to do that for Wilder? I don't do that for nobody. That's not the purpose of what these conversations are. So pretty much, when you're sitting up here making lies up, he sat here in an interview and admitted he had no proof. So what you're basically saying is, no matter how wrong he is, I'm supposed to ride with Wilder till the wheels fall off because we all black. Let me tell you something, bro. You don't like everybody that's black. You don't get along with everybody because they black. In fact, what you heard me say in my video, if it was all about a black thing, you know what you would have did? You would have just said, that's that man's perspective. That's his opinion. And you would have left that alone. But the fact that you found the need to try to address me because of what I'm saying, you know, I don't feel that you're trying to be rude, but at the end of the day, you out of line because what you're saying, I tell you the same thing I tell anybody. Create your own channel, get you some subscribers, and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So even when I do a video and I speak about something because it's not true, if Dante Boxing Nation, if he makes a video right now, you know how many videos, I don't even watch these dudes like that. Certain videos somebody may bring to my attention about them, or it might pop up in my feed. I'm not subscribed to none of them either, okay? Because it's all boxing talk. I don't care about their opinions. But when you motherfuckers start making lies up, like basically, and put that out and try to feed all these casuals bullshit, I got the right to counter, but I never go on their channels and tell them what they should and shouldn't say. That's one thing I don't do. Because for one, it's their business what they want to talk about. They have a certain group of look, they're feeding this bullshit to their followers. Everybody who becomes a follower, who becomes a subscriber, if they are feeding into that and they like what they're hearing, so be it. That's on them. But I got the right to say and do what I want on my channel. And at the end of the day, I don't just make videos because they're making videos. That's for damn sure. What you just said is clearly false, and it can be proven. No, Eddie Hearn did not cause them no 100. They didn't cause him anything. Deontay Wilder declined. And he admitted that he declined. So what are you even talking about, man? That makes zero sense. And as far as him talking about racism, no, he speaks about it for himself, to benefit himself. And pretty much, like I said, I don't hear him speaking up for other black people. The man is delusional, okay? He screamed on Radio Raheem because when he made his comment, Radio Raheem said, when you say such and such a thing, elaborate. You know what I'm talking about. Got mad and screamed on him. Did you see the apology? You know, even though you said what you said, I forgive you. I love you. I forgive you. Forgive him for what? What the fuck did Radio Raheem do that he had to forgive him for in the first place? By asking him to explain what he meant. No, what Radio Raheem was supposed to do was, yo, I know what you're saying. These white motherfuckers racist as shit, punk ass niggas. Yeah, fuck them. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's what that was supposed to be. He was supposed to basically jump in there and start saying the same shit he's saying. Radio Raheem is an interviewer. Okay, if they were addressing an act of racism, something that happened or things that's going on, that's one thing. Wilder is making claims about shit that got nothing to do with what's happening, which is you're preparing yourself for a fucking fight. And this is my whole point. When anytime I hear people saying shit like that, it's like, how do you feel like you got the right to even tell somebody what they should and shouldn't say? And if you know the funny thing, I don't have people talk about a top 10. I don't have a top 10. I don't have favorite fighters. I have as fighters I respect and like as fighters, but at the end of the day, if I was to make a list of people, it would be people like Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, people like that. That would be the type of dudes. Notice where all them guys are from, mostly, huh? Black Americans, right? And that's not a reason. It's just me watching them. Because I like guys like Nigel Benn, Chris Eubanks as well. Salvador Sanchez. What I'm saying to you is, see, let's put it to you like this. You are cheering for somebody because they're your countrymen, right? On the other hand, somebody's cheering for somebody because that's their countrymen. I'm just applauding the fighters. And yes, I know for a fact that black people get discriminated against and people show hate towards us. Who you think you talking to, man? But what you're saying, pause. What you're doing is talking off your emotion. Nothing that you're saying pertains to me or this channel. If I'm talking about something going on with black people and racism and hate and all that, I don't bite my tongue, bro. At the end of the day, if you're going to sit here and get emotional about Deontay Wilder or any other fighter, that's what you choose to do, okay? I don't care what people from the UK do. I don't care what people from Puerto Rico do. I don't care what people from Mexico do. I don't care what people from China do. That's their business. I don't care what none of these people do. Okay? How you carry yourself, just like my circle of friends, it's determined by their moral standards. Can I trust you? What type of person are you? Do I want you around my kids? Do I want you around my family? That's what I do. Okay? I can't trust everybody because we're the same skin color. And at the same time, yeah, I stand up for my black brothers and sisters, but you sitting up here talking about one person. So what kind of pedestal you put him on, that's between you and Deontay Wilder, man. But like, nobody gets that shit from me. And I'm speaking because this man is sitting up here fucking lying. First off, he calls Dillian Whyte gay, right? I don't know. Dillian Whyte could be gay for all I know. Do you hear me saying that Dillian Whyte's not gay? I don't know what he is. But I can say this. I never seen Dillian Whyte twerking his ass, arching his back and shaking his ass and all that. Pause. Okay, I never seen Dylan White twerking his ass and talking about he want to experience having a baby. If they find some kind of procedure, which you know that the male body is not meant to do that, so they'll never find a procedure that can allow you to be able to have kids for one. But the fact that he even think like that, no, we not on the same frequency. No, we're not. And I have the right to feel how I want and say what I want. So why you decide to get all emotional and take it personal, that's between, like I said, that's between you, and that's just a problem you got to deal with. So if you don't like the things I'm saying, bro, nobody make you watch. And I tell any and everybody the same thing. Okay? And I'm not taking people's money to sit here and tell them bullshit and lies, but I speak the truth. I speak my mind. I speak what I feel. And when you can sit here and say things that can be debunked, not with opinion, but facts, you don't have a leg to stand on, bro. So I don't even know why you felt the need to address me, to say what you said like it's going to change anything. Oh, and if you don't like what I've said so far, you're going to be pissed when you see the next fucking video, because I'm going to get his ass again. Now, whether you like it or not, that doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter to me. That's your choice. Okay? And anybody who's been on this channel with me for a while, they know I'm not a puppet. I'm not a robot. I'm not a part of any group. I stand alone. I stand with the people that stand with me. But I'm going to give you what I'm giving you raw, uncut. Not no bullshit dancing on eggshells. Well, they're not going to like it if I say this or that. I don't care about that. People can like or dislike whatever they want. But you're not going to get fabrication from me. So I addressed you, responded to you for addressing me in the comment section, just to let you know, plain and simple. First off, what you're saying is not even true. You need to get your facts straight. You need to do your homework. See, you're going by what other channels are telling you. Because if you chose to go watch these videos, to go look at the tweets that came from Deontay Wilder himself and what came out of his mouth and his manager's mouth, you know that these people that are telling you this shit is full of shit. But you ain't got to prove it to me, because I don't care, because I know the facts. Because I know what came out their mouths. And that's what I'm addressing. His actions, his words, not his say. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch you on the next video.